Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giant football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Well, Cinderella story is over.
Yeah, the slipper did not fit today. That's for damn sure. So guess what we're bringing back? Oh, yeah, we are bringing back the beer. The beer is coming back here, which I had originally, but we lost it for a second there. So sorry to y'all that were in the beginning there. So for those who may be aware in the streaming communities here, they all of a sudden made it where you can now stream live on Instagram. So we were live on Instagram, and it's a weird way of doing it, and it somehow stopped the video and made my computer go all wacky for a second there. So
it was insta crazy.
To be honest, I don't even know if we're still live or not on Instagram. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess, when we're done here. But yeah, it's something that they're trying out here. So we'll see how it goes here. But nice to have a new platform. So hopefully it's working here. Actually, it looks like it is working here as I'm on it. So good. So anyway, guys, yeah, we are here to basically celebrate the end of the Giants playoff hopes. Let's call it what it is.
Well,
because
there was no real hopes. Let's be real.
Listen, I had hopes. God damn it!
You're right. We have 6 wins if we won today.
Listen,
we're not beating the Eagles twice.
I understand. I just wanted,
a glimmer of hope. I get you.
Exactly.
I had that there. Just a little bit of a spark, because the way the Giants were playing, they gave you that glimmer of hope. Like, hey, we're the underdogs again. We might squeak in that 7th seed.
You know what though? I would have, considering how we started, I would have taken that gladly. I would have.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I'm not putting it down. Like, I want to build it dramatically.
Yeah. So I see Connor in the comments section too. We'll have to hear from him later on as far as whether he still thinks that Tommy DeVito is the long-term answer at quarterback. Because
he was the chicken cutlet tonight. By what I mean by that, he was scallopini. He was pounded out then.
It wasn't very pretty overall, and as has been as it's been pretty much the mantra all season long, the offense has been the problem. The defense is not an issue whatsoever, in my opinion. Just even today, I mean, I know we gave up a decent amount of points in the second half, but I just, to me, I can't sit back and be upset at the defense. The only thing I will be upset about, and I'll say this, is I do think that Wink should have blitzed less in the second half, realizing it wasn't working, because the Saints' offensive line is very good at pass protection, and should have put more people into coverage. And I think that would have prevented some of the things that happened. But that's not what Wink does.
When we signed Wink, we knew what we were getting.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's like complaining a dog wagged his tail. Like, that's what they're going to do. Yeah.
Your dog's tail with me. Oh my God, he's so happy. I can't believe it.
This is what Wink does. He blitzes. He doesn't care about the outcome. He just freaking blitzes. So, yeah. I won't be upset about it, but it's the one complaint that I can give, is that I think he should have blitzed less, and he should have, put more people into coverage. But overall in the day, let's start off with the defense, because the defense is at least the happier note, and I have a feeling it's going to take us less time to talk about that. I think we'll be more pissed off talking about the offense, to be very frank.
Yeah.
So on the day, Jason Pinnock and A'Shawn Robinson tie for the lead in tackles at 8 apiece. Both of them, I thought, had a very good day. Jason Pinnock had the one, bad penalty that hit him there. But, listen, mistakes do happen overall. He had our lone sack on the day as well. He had a tackle for loss. Good showing overall, I thought, as well, and had some good coverage in some plays. A'Shawn Robinson, also very good game, was all over the place. Probably his best game I think he's had it as a Giant. So at least there's some positive we can give you guys. We can give you some positive. What's really, really crazy is I'm looking here. And there it is. Bobby Okereke, just 3 tackles today. That's 2 days in a row, 2 games in a row. He's had a lower tackle per game than very typical at all. So I'm kind of curious if there's an underlying injury going on there that we're not aware of, because whenever a player multiple games in a row they don't perform to a standard you expect, that's just what always pops in my head.
You have to question it.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be just 2 bad games.
Could be,
but when that happens, especially like a player like Okereke, to only have 3, like, and you have to question it, especially because like
what was it, 6 last week, so 9 in 2 weeks now.
Yeah, so like when they run up the middle, where are they going? Who's going to see him? Okereke.
Yeah,
and who's been that dominant player down the middle? Okereke. So when he's not doing what he normally does with double digits tackles, that's something to be looked at.
And I think this is, I don't want to say double digits, but at least give me 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my thing is, if he is healthy, keep him playing. Obviously, if he's not healthy, guys, it's time to take him out. At this point, if you are a player that's going to be in the long-term plans for the Giants, and you are injured, even if you're 75%, okay,
you got to do the right thing by the players at this point.
Let him get healthy.
Go to the playoffs.
Exactly. We're not going to go to the playoffs. I'm assuming that we're mathematically limited after this loss here. I'm assuming that, but either way, we are.
Technically, I don't think we are. We're still in the technical mathematical hunt, but it's
so
very.
You're saying there's a chance.
Score. No, but like we said, we have not been able to beat the Eagles.
No,
we got to play them twice still.
Yep.
So
and
right
the Rams
there,
still too.
And then, like, take the Rams out. We might win against Rams. We win against Rams. We get 7 wins. We're still not making the playoffs.
Playoffs.
We're not going to make the playoffs at 7-10.
No. Well, I mean, and my whole thing now going into this is, I was originally on Team Tank, and then we kind of started winning, and I was enjoying the ride, and I still enjoy the ride. I'm back on Team Tank. I'm back on Team Tank after this loss.
Well, I don't think we have to be on Team Tank, because I just think
it's going to happen naturally. Let nature take its course.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically what's going to happen here.
I don't know if that's diabolical, but like, but once again, when was the last time we beat the Eagles?
1937. It's been forever, man.
It's been years.
Yeah, it's
granted, like, the Eagles are on their own downward spiral, but they're not that much of a spiral where the Giants could beat them.
I wish I'd spiral like they're spiraling. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh my God, we're not going to be the first seed. Oh my God.
We lost back-to-back times for the first time in 2 years. Sign me up for that shit. Oh my God, spoiled bastards. So. Anyway, rest of the defense there overall, nothing too crazy, nothing really sticks out at you there. If you look at what
McFadden had himself a decent game as well. 5 tackles.
I'll give you that.
He left some plays, but that's the only other glimmer I can put on defense.
I'm very curious when I rewatched the game. There was a lot of times in general that we had somebody would go up the gut and just pass Kamara when he was trying to run the ball. And I'm very curious, because I didn't do the replays in that game. I'm very curious when I rewatched the game to see who that was, because that was very embarrassing. It was like that one play the Packers had last week when the defensive tackle was like 3 yards up, in the backfield by the time the ball snapped, it felt like, and he still missed Barkley. Like, we had like 4 or 5 of those plays. It was pretty bad. But yeah, so let's get into their offense, what their offense did overall as well, because that's obviously part of the equation as far as how our defense did. Derek Carr, the day, 23 of 28, 218 yards at the 7.8 yard average, 3 touchdowns, only 1 sack. And
that might have been his best game of the year.
Yeah, and let's be very frank, and they did exactly what we expected. You and I talked about this in the preview. We said it's going to be short passes, dink and dunks, nothing huge down the field, really, because they only had one guy left they could go down the field to. And that's exactly what they ended up doing in the end. And that guy didn't kill us. He only had 3 catches in the day. So, it's kind of a shame that we saw this game plan coming. And it's almost like either the Giants didn't see it coming or they just didn't know how to deal with it, even though they knew it was coming. I can't imagine. Listen, Rob and I aren't morons. I'm not trying to say that.
No, we definitely are.
We're not as football. We're not as football smart as people who are on the defensive coaching staff of the New York Football Giants. I would hope not, at least. If so, by the way, we'll shoot resumes over to John Mayer in a heartbeat. Okay?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
I'll go in for half the salary.
Yeah. I won't, but full salary or nothing. But like I said, it's exactly what we called was going to happen. They had nobody go down the field anymore. We dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And here's the problem when you have an offensive line that is very good at pass blocking and a dink and dunk offense. You're going to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. And this is what I was saying. That's the one thing I wish they had done is less blitzing, more guys in coverage. I think they could have stopped some of the plays that did happen. But in the end, like I said, we were in it for much of the game until, all of a sudden they went a little stretch there in the second half. Already down by 1 point in the at the halftime there. I can't sit there and bash the defense. The offense couldn't get shit going. The defense couldn't get off the field. And when they finally did get off the field, they go right back in the field 3 plays later. I can't be upset at them. Yeah. So running the ball wise, they did exactly what they've been doing all year long. They had 28 rushes and averaged 3.1 yards per carry. Not good, but they ran the ball a lot. That's what we expected. Yeah. Alvin Kamara had 66 yards. He was the big one there with a 4.1 yard average. So again, they did exactly what they've done all year long. The only thing is they took out the deep pass because they didn't have that option anymore. Like that's I think the one that just pisses me off is that Ray Charles could have seen this coming on offense from them. Like Stevie Wonder knew this was coming.
Put me in, coach.
Like
put me in, coach.
It's like really bad. Like Ronnie Millsap saw this coming. Okay, I'm out of blind singers. Okay, we all get where I'm coming from here. Like we all knew this was coming, and we couldn't stop it. Helen Keller saw it coming and heard all about it.
Yes.
Oh my God, we're getting canceled. Anyway, Alvin Kamara also led them for receiving yards. So 5 receptions, 44 yards. Nobody else had a ton of receiving yards. I mean, Johnson had 38. Shaheed had 36. A.T. Perry had 34. I mean, nothing crazy there. In the end, it was just that we couldn't stop the dinks and the dunks. You get dinking, you dunk enough, you get where you had to be to score some points. You take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, splash of that. Next thing you know, boom, there we go. It's just that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. But again, 24 points is not a horrible showing from a defense that was basically gassed the entire second half because the offense couldn't stay in the field. I'll take that with no complaints overall. I will give the one suggestion that I said already. I don't want to call it a complaint necessarily, because if the offense had stayed on the field at all and got anything going in the second half, let's be very frank,
be a different game plan.
It would have been a different defense at that point. They probably would have scored maybe one less touchdown, and we all be going, okay, well, the Giants defense did their job. They gave them 17 points. That one extra touchdown makes it look borderline, but like I said, to me, it's fine. I'm not worried about the defense. I'm not scared about the defense. The big issue still is what the issue has been all goddamn fucking year, and that's the offense. 6 points does not cut it, guys. 6 points does not cut it. So before we get into the offense, let's go into the comments here real quick, pay the bills, and let's go ahead and talk about the offense and how shitty they are.
So joy.
Connor says, too depressed to be ready. Tommy sends a pail. Deb says the playoffs seriously. And listen, it was an outside chance, but we were on a 3-game winning streak. We were the hot team at that point there, and I thought we were going to win this game. I really did. Yeah. Rob and I both.
Not for nothing. Like if we would have won this game, Eagles Rams.
If we had won this, split with the Eagles and beat the Rams.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
if you win your next 3, if you won this game, the next 2 games, you won 3 in a row. You won those next 3.
Yeah,
you're in the continuity of being in the playoff talk.
At 8 and 9, that's a legit possibility. But now there's no
especially
way.
Especially how the fight for the 7th seed is going.
Yeah,
and not just the NFC, the AFC as well. Like
it's weird. The league, both conferences are very top heavy and bottom heavy. It's like there's a few like really good teams and a few and a lot of like really like shitty teams. There's no in between. They're really good or really bad.
I won't even go that far. It's just like the way the NFL has come along and with the different coaches and the drafting. Like you got teams that were like high and mighty that are now sucked to the middle. You got teams that are bad that are going up to the middle. And like you still got your elite teams, but you got like this economic like the diversity that's not really there. Like so to say, like right now, if not to get political, like you got rich people out there, but you got the middle class and the poor people are still fighting for like different spots, if you will. And like that's what's kind of going on in the NFL. Like the Packers are still in it to make the playoffs. Like the Rams are still in to make the playoffs. And like it's not like they're phenomenal teams, but if they get hot and go on a run, they could do some damage.
Yeah, I just
like the Browns just won the game.
Did they?
They just won the game. And their
what was the final score? What was the final score?
20
for our picks.
2017.
20-17.
We tied it up.
Oh, we're back to being tied then. God damn it. And I'm not having that durian, god damn it.
I don't want the durian either. It was really funny. So I went to the store. I think we were talking about this before. And an Asian guy was like, yeah, I gotta eat some crappy food this week if I lose after eating crickets. And they're like, I was like, what food? I'm like, I forget the name of it. It's like, I just know in Singapore it was banned in the transit. He goes, durian. I'm like, that's a crappy food.
It is so bad, I'm telling you. All right, let's get on next year. Connor says, now imagine if we beat the Eagles twice, this game will haunt us. 100%. 100%. Deb says, as Strahan said, Tommy Cutlets got tenderized today. He did. I know there's a lot of comments about the offensive line. We're definitely going to get into that topic. And there's 2 people in general that I know I'm going to bash. Connor says, Tommy got beat up like he owed money and the VIG. Deb says, I can't say the defense played well. They were okay. Saints pretty much had their way with us. Again, 24 points is an average offensive showing. I understand
it's also not average. It's also not average for the Saints, especially with Derek Carr.
I get it, but I can't beat up a team where the defense couldn't.
Listen, when they're on the field for 2/3 of the game,
yeah,
it's not fair to ask them to play like an elite in the fourth quarter when they were pretty much on the field for 20 minutes in the first half.
Exactly. Connor says, see what happens when you tell him don't go home, go out, party, get laid, and you don't make him go home to mommy. He's out whoring all night. It's like Mickey said to Rocky Balboa, women weak leaking legs. You know, I'm noticing a thing, Connor, where you just really seem to like the Rocky movies, which is just...
Are you a Philly fan?
Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder here. Beef says they better get an offensive coordinator and they better draft every one of their picks on offense. You got that. You got to fix that line. Here's the weird thing about that, though. I'm not so sure that's the plan. Because how many people have we drafted already? I still think the coaching is a big part of the problem. Yes. I really do.
We've gone over that so many times. I don't think it's the talent that we have on that line. Brent, like, yes, we could.
It's partly the talent. It's partially
we could definitely get better talent, but we also could get more use out of the talent we have, and we're not. That's the problem.
I would personally love it if they went out and got a solid guard this offseason. I think that's a good spot to get one solid upgrade at, and I'd like them to get a good swing tackle where they can go, if Evan Neal, you don't progress as the season goes, we'll just put this guy in there, and he at least won't embarrass us. Problem is those guys don't grow on trees.
No.
They really don't. And
you're also going to pay a lot more money for those guys.
Maybe we draft a tackle in like the 3rd round and hope he's a swing tackle, and if he's not the swing tackle, he's the new right tackle.
I mean, that's so, especially when you take Evan Neal in the first round. Like
but
you're hoping you can replace him with third round.
I know. But listen, he's playing like a 7th rounder, so therefore,
yeah,
I understand where he got drafted. It's hard to say you replace him with a 3rd rounder, but where he's playing, you easily can.
I agree. I'm just saying, like,
I know. Paper. I know. Trust me. I get it. I'm not saying
like if you go to free agents and you're going to try to pay for that.
Problem is we don't have. I know people think we have all the money in the world. We don't, guys. I'm telling you right now, we don't.
That's what I was about to get at. It's like it's hard with the cap that we have.
Plus, on top of that, a good offensive lineman, you're going to overpay. You're going to overpay through the freaking nose. It's not just us having offensive line issues. It's everybody and their fucking mother. It's like if you're not Cleveland or the Saints or Philly, you're having offensive line issues. That's just life. So, Deb says, how many drop balls? Oh, we'll definitely get into that part of the topic there because that's definitely part of the conversation, the issues there. Connor says, Saints defense came after Tommy like he slept with their sisters or slept with their mothers. LOL. Tommy's like, I'm not that New York quarterback. That guy is Zach Wilson. Could get him. LOL. Zach Wilson definitely had his own issue. He definitely had his own issues there. Connor says offensive play calling was terrible. Just do slants or comeback screens, something WTF. And he says, O-line was fucking terrible. I counted 7 sacks. Saquon couldn't get 40 tackles rushing. Shake my fucking head. I almost said smack again. Connor says, LOL, Deb, playoffs. Playoffs? I just want to win a damn game. LOL. And then he says, Rocky is played by Sylvester Stallone. He's from New York. I laugh at the time. The Philly fans love an Italian from New York who is their Philly hero. Yeah, well, listen, when you have shitty-ass teams, you're going to have a fake character from a movie be your hero. It is what it is.
Bill Burr does the best skit about that, by the way.
I have to listen. I like Bill Burr. I finally finished watching Old Dads, by the way, yesterday.
I have to watch it. I have not watched it yet. But he went there like 10 years ago to Philly, and he was doing some kind of charity thing.
Oh, yes.
And he got booed, and he literally roasted Philly.
I did see that. I saw that on a TikTok, actually.
And you got to listen to the whole 10 minutes. He goes, I got 7 minutes left. You guys, your sports hero is a fictional character. And they all start cheering as soon as he starts doing the press. He goes, see, you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Bill Burr is hilarious. All right, let's get into the offense here after we're done here, just paying the bills real quick because I think that's where a lot of the issues, complaints, and thoughts are going to be on here.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty. Now, I do want to do things a little different here today. I know usually we go ahead and start talking about the quarterback as the very first thing because the quarterback is typically, the big talking point here. And he probably will be here today as well, but I want to lead into it with some things here. So we got to first talk about this offensive line. Obviously, we've seen some comments here already in the comment section about it, and it's not good. So overall, I mean, I think the issue really was in the middle of the line, and what I kept on seeing was Pugh and JMS. That's the two people that I kept on seeing having the issues. If you look, almost every single time that DeVito got sacked, you know who's standing right next to him? Justin Pugh.
Pew.
Pugh was Pugh today. Yes.
He was.
That's basically what it boils down to. I mean, I give the guy a lot of credit. He's a good veteran leadership on our team. But today, he looked like a guy who should have retired.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like, point blank. And sadly enough, a guy who should retire is good enough to start on our team. But this is why we need to fix this issue for next year. And the issue, let me be very clear, it's not fixed by going out and keeping the guys who get injured year in, year out. the Shane Lemieux, the Marcus McKeithans, the Matt Pertz, like all these kind of guys, they all got to go. They all got to go. And
gotta go.
I mean, even as Zudu, I'm this close to saying that as well. I don't want to give up on him because he's a third round pick, but same thing, just injured, not playing well. You can't play well, and you're not healthy, then I gotta move on. We talked about the Darren Waller conversation we had for the preview. Darren Waller, when healthy, we agreed at least is still a top 10 tight end in this league when he's healthy. Well, these guys we're talking about, they're not good.
Well, I mean, I said he's top 10 when he's where he's at now. He's top 5 when healthy.
No, I said top 10. You disagreed with me, I thought.
I disagree saying that he's top 5 when healthy, but he's not healthy, which makes him top 15. So I guess we agreed top 10 at that point.
Okay. Anyway, either way, I'm saying he's got at least the talent when he's on the field to make it worthwhile to deal with the missed games and stuff. As long as you have a good backup plan. If you don't have a guy who's very talented and he gets injured all the time, you can't keep putting up with it. That's what it boils down to. So I'm hoping to see a lot of changes on this offensive line. I'd like to see them draft 2 or 3, different, offensive linemen and really revamp the reserves. And I hope they spend a lot of time looking at that, part of the team here. Because to me, it's like quarterback, wide receiver, and offensive line. That's what we need. So let's talk about those receivers. We already talked about how bad the line is. Let's be honest. We can talk for an hour about how shitty this line is. It's not going to fix itself. We're on like 4-string offensive linemen. The only one that I will say I'm concerned with when we talk about the offensive line right now is JMS. But again, he's a rookie. We expect some growing pains.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to see this next year, JMS. If you're listening, first off, come on the show.
Tell us all about your college career.
Second off, no.
Get
better. Get better. All right. As far as receivers go, not a lot of good necessarily here either. I think it was Deb who mentioned the drop passes. There was definitely a good number of drop passes in the game here. Jalen Hyatt was targeted 3 times, didn't have a single catch.
Yeah, that's
not good. Again, rookie. You get the pass your rookie year, guys. You don't get the pass your sophomore. Move on, get better. The big guy, as far as receiver-wise, was Darius Slayton, 4 catches, 63 yards, but he was targeted 8 times in the game. That's not a very good percentage. Plus, on top of that, it just seemed like the Giants, for some reason, want to force the ball into his hands. And I'm not quite sure why. The plan they had on the Saints side is the plan the Giants should have had, because we talked about in the preview episode that the Saints are very good at deep coverage. They're very good overall. We'll get very good corners. Their corners were definitely better than our receivers. We knew that going into the game. But for some reason, we kept on just trying to throw it down the field against a team that had a much better pass defense than our pass offense. I don't get the reason behind that. You can't block. You can't get guys open. Like, why are you trying to force the ball 15, 20 yards down the field?
I mean, you need to do it every once in a while. You can't be doing it can't be your game plan. But like the next guy that we should talk about is Waller, who also had 4 catches for 40 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But
it spent a lot of time on the sidelines.
He did, but he also had a long of 29 yards. He had a big play. So that the bulk of his yards came from 1 catch where he got the ability to move down the field. Yeah,
the rest of them little 4 yards. He was dropped off.
Why not use him in the slot a little bit more often?
I don't know, especially because they had on their on him in coverage at times was DeMario Davis, who, let's be honest, killed the Giants this game overall. Had 10 tackles and a sack and 2 tackles for loss and a QB hit. But that big catch was on him. So, I mean, I would have tried to get him out coverage more and force Davis into a pattern of having to cover him. Even on the sack, if you look, he waited a second to see because he was in coverage. Once he knew that Barkley was in there for pass protection, he just blitzed right for the quarterback. They should have had more guys coming out of the backfield and tight end position that would have forced DeMario Davis into coverage more often.
Yes.
I think that would have been a very smart thing to do. But I mean, I'm still okay with Darren Waller coming back from injury, putting up 4 catches, 40 yards.
Yeah, I'm not upset. I'm just saying, like, why?
Oh, I know. I hear what you're saying.
Plays?
Yeah, you're upset more on how he was used. But I think part of the concern was
it's not even just him. Like, because you could turn around and be like, how come we didn't do the same thing with Bellinger? Bellinger had 2 catches, and he had half those. 13 yards? I think.
Yeah, 13 yards. He was also only targeted twice as well. So
yeah,
he had an 8-yard catch and a 5-yard catch. So
we already talked about off season, like how Bellinger's a great tight end, all around tight end. He's not a Waller, but he can still catch the ball. You can still set him up in the same way and put him in the slot and down the middle of the fields. Like, the Saints have not been good in the middle of the field coverage.
I just think, to me, there should have been more. I don't disagree on Waller and Bellinger, but there also should have been more Wan'Dale. I mean, Wan'Dale has this great game last week. Today has 4 catches, 25 yards. He was only targeted 4 times. So let's think about that trio for a moment here, okay? That is 12 attempts, 10 catches. That's pretty good percentage there. But yet, like I said, to me, I'm watching the game and they're forcing the ball, it felt like, to Darius Slayton. Absolutely forcing the ball to him. And again, he got 8 targets, which was almost twice as much as anybody else. The only one who got more than 4 besides him was Darren Waller. And I just felt like it was being forced to him for some reason. I would have loved to see Wan'Dale more in the short passes and the crossing routes and stuff. Like, he excels at.
I wonder if, like, he was part of the game plan, but they're like, all right, this is the plan that we're looking to do. Like, it's going to go to Slayton down the field. But if Wan'Dale's up in the middle, throw it to him or whoever. But I wonder if Tony DeVito got, like, that rookie lock eyes, if you will. Like, he got the pressure and he's like, this is what I'm supposed to throw it to? I just didn't look for any other open receiver.
I think he was a little startled more in this game because of how bad the line was, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it there.
What was it, 7?
But I also think that there's a pattern I've noticed with Giants quarterbacks wanting to get the ball to Darius Slayton. And it just makes you think that Darius Slayton, for whatever reason, has just puts himself in this position to be the security blanket for all the different quarterbacks, whether it's Jones, Taylor, Colt McCoy there that one season. I mean, it's just what he does.
That's
and Darius Slayton, listen, we've talked about him before, and for those who haven't heard our spiel on him before, he's put in a position by this team to fail because he's put in a position to be a key component to the receiving game, and he shouldn't be. He should be like your 3rd or 4th or 5th wide receiver. That's where he should be. He's got a limited route tree. He's got suspect hands, but he can get open.
Yeah.
So you still have a spot for him in your receiving room because of that. But if you're depending on Darius Slayton to be your number 1, something went wrong. And guess what, guys? We're depending on Darius Slayton to be our number 1. So something is definitely wrong.
Big time.
Big time. Something is wrong in Denmark. So I think that's something we have to look at and go, you know what? We made some mistakes in the receiving room with some of the people we brought in, some of the changes we made, because we talked about, the top receivers this year. We talked about Paris Campbell. We talked about, Sterling Shepard coming back from his injury. We talked about, some other players that obviously aren't here anymore. Like one I don't want to even bring up because he's in Washington. We should have kept him. But look at this game and look at the receivers. Our top receivers in this game were Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. And then the only other people to even get a target at the wide receiver position, Isaiah Hodgins and Jalen Hyatt. Did we really change that wide receiver room so much? Besides Hyatt, that's the same trio that you had last year. Not much change. Not much changed, guys. So we need to actually truly change it, and we need to change it through the draft, not through free agency, because nobody's going to be a big name receiver available. It's going to be worth anything. I know some people tell me Higgins. Higgins is not the answer. He's going to need $20 million a year. We don't have the money. Don't have it.
And I don't think it's worth $20 million.
I still question that as well. But I'm just saying he's we don't have it. It's not an option. Let's talk about the running here because it was bad. Scary thing is we had a higher yard per carry average than the Saints did, but that's not saying much. We had a 3.8 overall, mostly because of Tommy DeVito. 4 carries.
First life.
Yeah. Well, no, he had a couple of design runs that really did something there. 4 carries, 36 yards. So that's a 9 average there. Saquon Barkley did absolutely nothing, and they just abandoned the run the second half with him entirely. 9 carries, 14 yards. It's a 1.6 yard average. His longest all day was 4 yards. Matt Breida had 3 carries for 10 yards. His longest was 5. So it's not difficult to put the math in the other two. They were 2.5 yards each. Yeah, not good, guys. Not good. And again, this is an extension of how bad the offensive line was today because they were shit. Absolute shit. But at the same point, guys, I still got to question, everything because this was the defense that was horrible against the run. We talked about that. This team played into our strengths.
And they definitely took their time and looked at our strengths and capitalized on it.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm going to give this game overall as a loss on offense to the offensive line because
100%.
I've seen Saquon not put up these performances enough. I've seen Matt Breida not put these performances up so much that I can't sit there and blame these guys. I can't put none of the blame on them. Don't get me wrong. But they have enough of a career where I can go, the offensive line just wasn't built putting up holes. And I can say by watching the game as well, there was no holes. They were just running into bodies, basically, and hoping to get a couple yards. So, yeah, offensive line gets the MVP
also
award.
With everything going, you also got a question, why didn't they put Barkley as a receiver more? Not so much set up as a receiver. But more
especially after that one catch he had on the sidelines. Holy shit, one-handed, amazing. And we've talked about he's not necessarily known for his hands always, though he's very good at the passing game because he's open and open field. He's amazing.
He's been the leader in passing yards quite a few times. Yeah, a handful of times in the past 2 years. So it's not like he doesn't have what it takes, especially against a team like this. You would think, you would exhaust some of those options.
Yep. Instead, 2 catches, 23 yards.
Yeah,
not good. Speaking of not having what it takes, let's talk about Tommy DeVito. Oh, I went there. I still think he could be a good backup in this league. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
But I really hope that today kind of squashed the idea of him being a legit starter in this league. He's not, guys. He's not. 20 of 34 today, 177 yards. Only a 5.2 average. No touchdowns, no interceptions, 7 sacks on the day, guys. Just he couldn't get anything going, and partially it was again because they kept trying to throw deep for some reason, not taking the short routes. But I even saw some people already posting some angles of stuff during the game, even where you could see guys wide open. He was missing. Again, he's not a legit starter. Let's get that very clear. He is not a legit starter. So let's hope he just learns enough this rest of this year to be a good backup going forward. We go ahead and draft a quarterback in this first round, and we see what we got there because it's not cutting it what we got, guys. It's not. And I'm sorry, Jones is not the answer. I'm still going to sit on that one too. The nice thing is, as of right now, we have moved up to the 7th position in the draft. That's where we're at now, the 7th
Royal
position.
victory.
So we have moved up a little bit there. We got to see what happens. Who are the Commanders playing this week? I can't remember. They're the only team.
Give me a second. They're not on the screen right now, but
they got the Rams. right?
I was about to say.
Yeah, they got the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams.
So if they can beat the Rams, then they'll move down. But I think we'll still be. They won't move past us. I think we'll have the. Oh, actually, no. They might have this. Yeah, we're tied for strength of schedule right now. So yeah, the Rams go to 700. Yeah, okay. Rams go to 7-7, which would put them at 500, which will lower the strength of schedule actually for the Commanders. They'd be right beneath us, so we'd still be at the 7 no matter what. So that's where we'll end up. But we got plenty of options, plenty of weeks here to move up here potentially. We got plenty of time here to see where we end up here. I mean, hell, who knows? The Panthers won. Maybe the Panthers got a winning streak now all of a sudden, you know?
That's funny.
You never know. You never know. I mean, the Cardinals could go crazy and start winning a few games. All of a sudden, the Bears are winning games there. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, guys. If we move back into a top 5
and the Cardinals are down right now,
we'll be fine. We'll still get oh, yeah, that's right. The Bears lost today. They were almost going to win. That's right. They were almost going to win.
Almost.
But, yeah, like I said, I think that we still have a shot to get the quarterback we want. I think even if we win another game, we'll still have a shot to get the quarterback we want. We might move up a little bit to get him. But I'll still take winning a couple games towards the end of the season, even if they're meaningless, just to keep the morale of the team a little better and keep everything going better, stronger. So, you know, we'll have to see how that plays out, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. I just don't think I am. But I'm also cocky, so.
I mean, it's as a fan, you always want your team to win, no matter what the situation is. So you have to root. Although the Rams are only up 3-0 right now against Washington.
You never know.
We shall see.
You never know. Yeah, that's it. We need Washington to win, actually. That's right. If Washington wins, but still, they'll still be ahead of us. Either way.
Yeah, either way.
So we'll have to see. Let's go through some of the last comments here before we head on out here for the day. Here, let's see. Here we got Connor says, "Oops, if this thing's moving here on me for some reason." I think right as I went to hit, someone put a comment. Says, "I love Bill Burr. So fucking funny. Oh, he's hilarious.
He's so good."
Then he says, "Son of a whore, fucking Travis Kelce couldn't get 40 yards. You ruined my whole ticket. Fucking would have won $400. Fuck you, Taylor Swift." Don't blame Taylor Swift. Deb says, "Was Robinson in and just couldn't get open? He played well the last couple weeks. He was in. We'd have to look at the old.
He just wasn't utilized.
He was open, but I don't feel like he was utilized personally. Watching what I was able to watch on the broadcast, which I wish they would give us the Amazon Prime view during the games, like they have on that, where they show like the above and they show like all the stuff and the stats during the game. It's not as much fun watching as a fan, but if you want to actually analyze the game live, that's better because you get a better view of everything, you know.
Right.
And Debs, I thought you said we should not move up, take a QB. What I'm saying is it depends on the QB. If we have a QB we want, then we have to move up to get him. If you're that sure that you're willing to give up the picks, then do it. Don't just do it to do it.
Yeah, what we said is confident. We shouldn't move up for Caleb, number one, and Drake.
Unless they're that confident. If they're that confident, I have no problem with them doing it. I won't agree with it. I won't share in their confidence. But if they're that confident, then go for it.
Yeah, listen, because like we said this, you're putting your career on the line of the guy that's about to draft to be the QB. So if you're that confident, yeah. But we've also went through Caleb Williams crying to mommy about an interception in a college game.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want him. I'm just saying
it's not going to come back to New York media.
I really think the more and more this plays out, and I have the concerns with the injuries, but the more and more tape I watch, I really think Michael Penix is the guy I want.
I was about to say the same thing. Penix, I think that's.
I know the injuries are a concern. He's been healthy the last 2 years, though, so it's not like he's coming off of an injury. That's where I'm a little more concerned, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I do think though that we need to replace this field with grass if we're getting him. Though. No more ACL injuries, guys. Oh
put sod down every game.
Yeah. Put new grass down. I don't care. Call it a day. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you guys again tomorrow night. We're going to do, obviously, our recap of the week there, give you guys all the Week 15 action. And, of course, next week we will go do things a little different here because of the fact that we have the Giants be playing on Monday with versus the Eagles with a very unmerry Christmas there. So, listen, family first. So I will tell you this. What time we come on may not be right after the game. We'll see how that goes. We'll kind of play that one by ear, though. So best way to know we come on, though, is, of course, hitting the subscribe, hitting the like button, hitting the bell on YouTube. Hit all the buttons except the dislike. Don't hit the dislike one.
Yeah, it's the wrong button.
Coal in your stocking if you do it, damn it. But like I said, the rest of the week will be normal. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for the recap. We'll see you guys Wednesday for the picks show. We'll see you guys Thursday for the preview. So that'll be all as usual. Just the one thing that's going to be a little different this week here is because we got the flip-floppy of the week and all. We'll have to see what we do as far as the recap of week 16. And then, like I said, we'll go ahead and do the post game, obviously still on Christmas. We just don't know what time necessarily yet. So keep an eye on that as Rob and I talk about more of what our family plans are. We'll figure that out. But while we will be definitely watching the game, we still may be doing something with family at that point, maybe delay doing it right after the game, but we'll figure that as we go. So maybe we'll still be after the game. That's the fun of this. It's why you hit the bell. It's why you hit the subscribe. Yeah. So you know. Because as always, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter/X, Twitch, and Rob's favorite. Oh yes, my LinkedIn.
Drew's LinkedIn.
Oh yes. And now we are also live on Instagram, guys. Oh yeah. So if you haven't already liked our Instagram page, hit and like the Instagram page. We've had it. We haven't really used it much because we can't record on it, but now we can. So now we'll probably be on here a lot more often on Instagram. So sharing a little pictures and doing all kinds of fun there. As all of a sudden Al Bundy joined. Not only Al Bundy, just as Bundy joined. Appreciate it, Bundy, for chiming in there. I thought I was thinking it was a picture of Al Bundy at first, then I realized it is a DeVito picture there. It's got a DeVito picture there. Polk high. All right, guys. So, of course, always we are available the next day on every audio podcast platform, pretty much known to man. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Amazon, all the various podcast platforms there. I don't know why we list so many when really most everybody's on Apple or Spotify.
Yeah,
that's the
iHeartRadio too.
Honestly, we get most of our hits on the audio stuff from Apple. So Spotify doesn't like us because we don't use Spotify's. Spotify for podcasting has their own version of it, but then it does very well in Spotify, but nobody else.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I don't really use it because of that. So will not fall for their trickery. So all right, guys, we'll see you again tomorrow night. And as always, Giant fans, win, lose, or draw,
go G-Man!
Go G-Man!
Go
G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.